May 2023, Henan, China. A mother goes to the ATM to check her family's life savings. She freezes. The screen doesn't show 449,500 RMB, roughly $64,000 like she thought. It shows 8 cents. Hacked? No. Phishing scam? Nope. The culprit who drained the account was her 13-year-old daughter. She secretly linked her mom's debit card to her phone and blew $64,000 on mobile games in just 4 months. When confronted by her parents, she sobbed. "I didn't know where the money came from. I saw my friends topping up, so I did too. I was just pressing buttons." $64,000. Gone. Just from pressing colorful buttons. You think this is an accident? A naive kid? Nope. This is a system perfectly engineered down to the pixel. Today, we're exposing the most sophisticated money printing machine of the 21st century, the whale hunting ecosystem. You think you're playing a free game and ripping off the devs? Wake up. In this industry, if you aren't paying for the product, you are the product. Buckle up, because we're diving to the bottom of the ocean, where behavioral psychology meets human greed. Before we dive deeper, if you want to stop being easy prey for these billion-dollar algorithms, hit that subscribe button. We don't just play games here, we expose the psychological traps designed to drain your wallet. Ready? Let's get into it. To understand how giants like miHoYo or Supercell drain your wallet, you need to know your place on the board. To developers, gamers aren't players. They are datasets ranked by how much they swipe. At the bottom, making up 90 to 95% of the server, we have the minnows. This is the F2P crowd, the grinders who pride themselves on not spending a dime and still clearing the content. Think you're getting a free ride? Hold on, I'll tell you the real price you're paying later. In the middle, about 4% are the dolphins, the light spenders. Monthly passes, battle passes, maybe dropping 10 to 50 bucks when there's a top-up bonus. Dolphins pay the electric bill and the devs' salaries. But the top, the whales, the 1%, the absolute gods walking among us with black-tier credit cards. In traditional business, there's the Pareto principle. 80% of profits come from 20% of customers. But in gacha economics, this is warped to the extreme. 99% of revenue comes from 1% of the players. Whales don't spend to test their luck. They spend to buy certainty in a system designed to work against them. The ultimate goal of any F2P game isn't to make everyone happy. It's to cast a massive net over millions of free players, shake it violently to filter them out, until they find a fat, juicy whale. And then, they set the hook. Let's use some logic. Why doesn't miHoYo just put up a price tag and sell Raiden Shogun straight up for $2,000? Buy it, and you're done? Because if they did, your brain's defense mechanism would kick in. Psychologists call this the pain of paying. Pulling $2,000 out of your bank account physically hurts. So, they created currency obfuscation. They force you to use real money to buy Tier 1 virtual currency, then convert Tier 1 to Tier 2, then Tier 2 to Tier 3. By the time you hold that final currency to press wish, your brain has completely disconnected from the actual value of the money. 1,600 Primo Gems for a 1-0 pull doesn't carry the pain of 30 bucks anymore. It's like casino chips. They're just sparkly purple pixels. And notice how the top-up packs never fit perfectly? You need 1,600 gems for a multi, but the packs give you 1,980 or 980. You're always left with a little too much or just a bit too short. That wasted currency is the bait that forces you to top up again just to round it out. It's a dirty trick to keep you in a perpetual state of just a little more. A lot of bros praise miHoYo for being generous because of the pity system. Like, even with terrible RNG, you're guaranteed a 5. Star at 90 pulls. They're so merciful. Guys, pity isn't mercy. Pity is the sharpest bear trap they've built to exploit the sunk cost fallacy. The drop rate for a 5-star in Genshin is 0.6%, which is basically zero, but they plant a flag at pull number 90. Imagine you've grinded your soul out, squeezed every chest on the map for 70 pulls, and you get shafted. 0 Primo Gems left, but that 90 milestone is waving at you. Just 20 more pulls. If you quit now, those 70 pulls belong in the trash. Your waifu is literally one credit card swipe away. And then, you swipe. Just a small pack to hit pity. But wait, the most diabolical part is just starting. The 50 over 50. When you see gold at pity, you think you won? No, you just got thrown into a life or death roulette. 50% chance you get the banner character. 50% chance you get Chi-Chi, absolute humiliation. When you lose the 50 over 50, extreme loss aversion takes over your brain. The feeling of being robbed of what's rightfully yours makes you blind. The next one is 100% guaranteed. I'll just swipe one last time. The 50 over 50 is the guillotine that doubles a game's revenue. To C6, a character, an unlucky whale, might have to burn $2,000 to $3,000. You're paying the price of a used Honda Civic just to own a few megabytes of a 3D file. Where did the gaming industry learn this milking technique? Las Vegas casinos and 1950s psychology labs. Scientist BF. Skinner ran an experiment. If a rat presses a lever and gets food every time, it only presses it when hungry. But if it presses the lever and food drops randomly, sometimes yes, sometimes no, the rat goes insane. It will press the lever relentlessly until it drops from exhaustion. This is called a variable ratio schedule. And that is exactly what gacha is. The blinding light, the golden glow, the intense sound effects when you pull a 5-star, they are all engineered to trigger a dopamine explosion in your brain, identical to how hard drugs work. They aren't selling you a character, they're selling you the thrill. So why do games have a stamina or resin system capping your playtime? Not because they care about your screen time, it's a strategy called pacing. They don't want you to binge the game in a day and uninstall it. They want to keep you perpetually starving for more. Daily logins turn opening the game into a conditioned reflex, just like brushing your teeth. Once the habit is locked in, you pumping money into the game is just a matter of time. At this point, the F2P players are probably smirking, "Haha, I've played since day one and haven't spent a dime. I'm leeching off miHoYo. Wrong. Dead wrong." If the game was just rich dudes fighting other rich dudes, everyone would be equally overpowered. The difference vanishes. Why would a whale drop $10,000 if there's no one around to flex on? Dear F2P players, you aren't playing the game. You are the game's content. You are the living NPCs, providing liquidity to the server, making the game feel alive. You are the ones generating massive YouTube views, drawing fan art, starting TikTok trends, and boosting esports viewership. The noise and FOMO generated by the F2P community builds the game's prestige, and that halo effect is what lures fresh whales into the net. You aren't paying with USD, you're paying with your time, your data, and your attention to act as the backdrop, the emotional launch pad for the ego trip of the 1% who actually swipe. It is a flawless, ruthless, symbiotic ecosystem. So, are companies like miHoYo, Supercell, or Tencent evil? Morally, it's up for debate. But purely from a business standpoint, they are absolute masterminds. They understand human insecurity, greed, and emotional triggers on a god-tier level. They create breathtaking worlds, top-tier soundtracks, and let you walk through the front door for exactly $0. But the invisible price tag is heavy, just like the 3-year-old girl who evaporated 64 grand. The line between entertainment and addiction in this era is paper thin. The only power you have in this ecosystem is your awareness. Play the game, enjoy the lore, top up if you have disposable income, and treat it as a valid entertainment expense. But never forget, don't let pity drag you around. Don't chase the 50 over 50. When you are staring deep into the gacha screen, the game's algorithm is staring right back into the bottom of your wallet. What do you guys think of this model? What's the most money you've ever donated to a single game? And looking back, do you regret it? Let me know in the comments below.